Hi everyone. Today what we are going to see is we would like to see the radiated power or the power at some point away from the antenna. It can be somewhere close to the antenna or it can be somewhere away from the antenna, and how to do that calculation in HFSS. First of all, let's see how this antenna is going to radiate. This is working at a 28 gigahertz. So you can see over here, this is working at 28 gigahertz. And when you see the radiation pattern at that frequency, you will be able to see radiation is coming towards top, overlay on top of geometry. Yeah, the radiation is coming something like this, and go over here, transparency to 0. So this is the radiation pattern coming from the antenna. It's more or less radiating towards up. Okay, and if you go a little bit further into deep, this is a far field radiation sphere. Right click and click on the compute antenna parameter. You'll get a window which tells you a lot of information. It tells you that you are actually pumping 1 watt of power from the port, and out of that only 489 milliwatts, that means 0.48 watts, is accepting by the antenna, by the port. And out of 489 milliwatts, 483 milliwatts is radiating from the antenna. That means 50, close to 52 or 51 percentage of power is reflecting back to the port. It is due to the impedance mismatch. That means this antenna is not perfectly matched. Its S11 should be somewhere about minus 3 dB at 28 gigahertz. And also note that uh, the radiated power is only 483 milliwatts. And the radiation efficiency is 987. And that's the first thing you keep in mind. We need that data after doing some post processing. Okay, so I'm just disabling this window on this particular plot. My idea is to see the power which is on top of this antenna at some distance away. For that, what I need to do is I need to create a coordinate over here. So you will be able to see some coordinate. Okay, uh, this is at what height? So this is at 1 meter. So I'm changing the coordinate at 10 centimeter above the antenna. So you can see a 10 centimeter above the antenna, there is one coordinate is created. And what we will do is we will create a near field rectangle sheet and say this is CS3. So select CS3 and say 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter. Uh, we can use that particular area, and this is the area which we are going to see. This over this area I want to see the power which is coming from the antenna. Keep that in mind. What we will do is uh, before that you need to know how to calculate that one. So if you go to HFSS field calculator, there is a session, it's talking about net power flow through the surface. It's nothing but real part of the Poynting vector into uh, that's in the normal to that particular surface. That means you need to calculate the near field Poynting vector, which is you can consider it as a near field in x direction, y direction, and z direction. And over here what happening is near field is power is flowing in the z direction. So you need to consider the z parameter or near field in the z direction. So we'll take that one, and also note that it is real part of Poynting vector. So go to near field radiation pattern, go to contour, rectangular contour plot, and if you see here, you can plot E field, H field, near field Poynting vector. And if you select, you can plot in phi, theta, x, y, z, all directions Poynting vector, you can do it. Select the z direction and select the real part of that. Click new report. Okay, one more thing is there are two rectangle sheet. If you want to see for one particular thing, go to select that one and click up apply trace. So this is called power density. Power density at that point, and this is nothing but watts per meter square. So the unit is not completely written, but if you double click over here, you will get a information about unit. It's nothing but radiated power per or watts per meter square. Watts per meter square is our unit. Now I want to know what is power at this location, this location, this location, and each location point. And I can even overlay this plot on the window. So this is the plot which you are plotting. So you can, as we expected, the more gain is on the center. So the high power is coming out here and the lower power is on the other side. Coming back here, we have plotted this rectangle grid, right? And the plot is actually plotting over the grid. And if you double click it, the accuracy or the step size uh, is nothing but point, 0.5 centimeter. That means 5 mm. So first of all, you need to know the same step size is taken for X and Y direction. As you know, power watts per meter square, the total power going through the entire surface is nothing but integral of uh, power density into the area which is covering. So if I take a simple unit which is simple cell over here, if I want to know the power at this point, what I can do is I can just take this one and take a small area around it. So how to take that small area? You need to see what is the step size you are using over here. The step size is 0.5 centimeter. You need to convert that zero point 0.5 into 0.5 centimeter into meter square. Let's do that one. So 0.5 or 5 mm. So convert into meter and again 0.5 mm, and you will see it's nothing but 000, 4 zeros and 25. That's the quantity. So if I do that one, okay, same plot, what I will do is I'll just multiply that quantity with 0.000, 4 zeros and 25 and just update it. Now this became the power at each point in that grid. Okay, and you also have an option if you want to see it in dB, that also we can do it. Nothing but just put that 10 log, 10 into log 10 to the base. Okay, log 10 to the base real part of that. So we are just converting that into dB and click new report. You will see that now you are seeing about 34 dB power at this location from the antenna. And now consider one more thing. Most of the people will consider in terms of a dBm in milliwatts. Just very easy to convert it. Just add 30 on top of it and click apply trace. Now the value which you are seeing is nothing but in power in terms of dBm. Okay, so you are getting minus 4 dBm power somewhere here. And if you want to know a little bit finer, you can enable this and click OK. So you can see this is about minus 4 dB, minus 6 dB, minus 7 dB, and there are option you can make it in terms of a instead of line you change to tone. Now it became this is how your power in dBm is coming, and overlay top of this you will see how the power is coming out. Okay, and this is a power you can calculate it. So make sure which direction the pointing vector is coming and take a decision according to that. And let's say this is we always need to confirm one more thing. Let's say this is the entire power in in linear scale here. So this is the real part into segment. We are just multiplying with that small area. So the total area, if I integrate it, if I want to integrate the entire area, integrate means just add all the power. So what you can do is just export it and say open, sorry, save it to that file, and then again go to that particular folder location. This is a file which we save right now. Just click open, and make it bigger. Just select this column. This is nothing but individual power in that area. So the total power is coming as 0.253 watts. That means 253 watts is actually passing through this particular area, and remaining, as we know, 0.483 watts is transmitting. Out of that, these many watts is actually passing through that particular area. Okay, so this is how we can calculate the the power which is passing through that particular point. Next thing is, let's say I don't have any idea where the source is. There can be some area in my design which can be I can say uh, it has some both all the components zx, zy, z0 pointing vectors are coming. So let's take out such scenario. What you can do is, let's take this particular coordinate, or I'm just moving this coordinate here, some 50 centimeter means half meter, and minus 10 centimeter in y. So you can see this coordinate is here. I'm going to rotate this coordinate by some angle and say theta by 10 degree. And now, or to reflect it, let's put 25 degree. Okay, so this one, and instead of this plane, what I want to see is the particular plane, which is in a way that x, y, z, all components can come into picture. So in that case, what I will do is this this particular sheet, I will say I want to plot it over that CS4 coordinate system. So you will be see that this one is now mapped to that, and all the plot will automatically update it here. Okay, so here, instead of Z coordinate, if you are not sure which direction the pointing vector is coming up, better to go and change the value, something like pointing vector, a take total. Okay, and multiply that with 0.0025, same grid point we are using for the other coordinate system also. That's the reason we are using stain. And now you can see this is in linear scale. So if you want to see it in dB, 10 into log 10, and okay, and click apply, you will see that this is about minus 47 dB. So as you know, the power which will have decay in terms of 1 by r times, or 1 by r square times with respect to distance, right? So you will see that with we change the distance of your plane from 10 centimeter to 50 centimeter, you can see this power also reducing according to that. Similarly, if you want to change to dBm, you can just add 30 more, and minus 17 dBm is the power which is coming in that particular point. So this is a way we can actually see how much is the power which is coming from the antenna at any particular location. And this points one more thing you need to clear. Natural simulation, these near field calculations, everything's are post processing. Once you simulate just an antenna, you can find the power at any point in the around this antenna without re-simulating it. So that's a good advantage.